America was founded to allow degeneracy. The whole point was for people to come here.
No, it wasn't
and express
founded
freedom.
to allow degeneracy. What did they used to do to homosexuals in the United States?
They did bad things to them,
Oh, so I thought
obviously.
it was founded for the
But the
homosexual to
point
be able to
is
put the pee-pee in the poo-poo.
Well, the point is...
Yes, they did. They had state religions. Yes, they did.
No, they didn't
Yes,
have a state
they
religion.
did. I'll tell you what. Why don't we stop the debate? I'll bet you $100 that I'm right.
$100 that you're right?
This is destroying families.
What this is,
These are two values that
this
are
is gay
intrinsically...
Yeah, this gay cope. It's called gay cope. So here's how gay cope works, right? You get a couple of anecdotal evidences of somebody...
This is hardly anecdotal.
Okay, then show me the proof that parents, by and large, the families are breaking up because their kids just have to butt fuck each other. Show me.
Do you reject that families have been destroyed over
I
this
want to
issue?
stop first. My name is Andrew Wilson, host of The Crucible, and today we're debating Christian nationalism and how Trump treats the left. And also, there's not a lot of bald atheists here, and I was going to use my normal intimidation tactic against them, but that apparently isn't going to work today. By my definition, what Christian nationalism is the advocacy for a stable society based on unchanging standards. I think that secularists and atheists and progressives, the only thing they ever do to advocate any type of change forward is to just sprinkle degeneracy on it. So there's an open wound in the country. They want to sprinkle degeneracy on the wound. That's it. That's the only thing that they ever say. I think I'll demonstrate that today. My first prompt is we need Christian nationalism in order to stop degeneracy inside of the United States.
All right. It was nice to meet you.
You too.
So I guess my first question would be, what does this look like? Because I've heard you before say that you basically think that Christian nationalism should just be kind of like a cultural force, and then not necessarily like anything through government, although that's kind of downstream. Is that fair?
Yeah, so I think that government is downstream from culture, and culture is downstream from theology. So I think that every worldview has dogmas. Mm-hmm. And since every worldview has dogmas, I want the dogmas which I believe to win out in the worldview war. But I have no problem with the legislation of morality through Christianity. Zero.
Okay. But it's your Christianity, right? It's not broadly Christianity,
well,
right?
Is it your secularism or is it everybody's secularism? The thing that's so funny about this criticism is that it's really stupid. So secularists can't agree on anything. Democrats don't agree. Democrats don't agree with secularists. Republicans, right? Secularists in general don't agree with each other. What's really funny about Christianity, though, is on core issues, they tend to agree because they have an unchanging standard. Did you see a bunch of Christians, for instance, running around crying about an abortion ban at the federal level?
Some?
No, you didn't. Show me.
Yeah.
Name a rally.
Name a rally?
Name a rally where the Christians got together and went, "Oh my God, they're banning abortion." It never happened.
No, I know people that were Christian.
Yeah, so there.
I don't know if you would call them Christians. So
there could be individuals who self-ID as being Christians who get upset individually, but you didn't see any collective of Christians anywhere outraged. It just didn't happen.
So people that self-identify as Christian, you would say that they weren't necessarily Christian, right?
I would just even be willing to grant it based on the self-ID. You still didn't see it.
Oh, I did.
Where? Yeah, where? Where was the Christian rally?
Personal people that I know.
Again, that's the individual level. So I'm not interested in one individual somewhere, or a couple individuals somewhere, which you anecdotally come up with, got upset because they wouldn't let their wife kill their children or whatever. When you're talking about collectives and every power broker in the United States, that all operates off of collective power.
Well, let's talk about one specific party.
And we're talking about one specific thing. So let's finish this point first.
Congress. What percentage?
Let's start with this first, though. I'm not going to let you back away or evade this. Where was there a collective of Christians anywhere in the United States, anywhere, who you saw on camera whining about the abortion ban?
That I saw on camera?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't watch too many of those protests.
Oh, so okay. So you watch every other protest, though?
No.
Did you watch the riots that happened in California?
I saw maybe some clips. I wasn't watching them intently.
You don't think that there would be some viral clips of Christians collectively outraged about a national abortion ban?
Viral clips? I mean, how much time do you think I spend on TikTok?
I don't know. How are you informed? Do you read news?
Yeah, stories? I read news.
Okay, where was the news stories?
I watch some videos, but I don't watch. I don't look for specific news videos about that.
It's made up. It's made up. All that happens is you anecdotally will point at an individual Anecdotally. Well, I know people who are upset about it. Yeah, but there's no collection. There's no collection. When we're talking about core values, core Christian values, didn't matter if it's Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox. All of them supported at least that being kicked back to the state. Yeah, all of them.
100% of Catholics.
The overwhelming collective supported it. Not only did they support it.
Okay, so the overwhelming collective.
Yeah.
Okay, so not
that's how power blocks work. Well, I wouldn't say anything. I would never make a statement a monolith about anything.
Well, you
can always move. You can always move towards an outlier, right? You can always move towards but here's the thing that's funny is that the exception proves the rule, right? So the fact that you anecdotally have to point to individuals and can't point to any collective that was outraged makes my point for me.
Well, I mean, I'm not like really big into like church communities all over the place, so I don't know specific communities that were advocating that.
Yeah. So when you're talking about Christian nationalism, there's core dogmas which are shared between Protestants, Orthodox, and Catholics. There's shared dogmas. That's one of the shared dogmas that you usually find. Some Protestants bank against it. There's some Catholics that do. But as far as the organizational level, by and large, they don't. And they come together on it.
So talking about like groups of people and how that works and integrates into government, you realize that Christians are they're disproportionate in Congress, right?
So are you happy about that? Do you think it's bad, or do you disagree with those Christians? I think that what has happened is that the First Amendment has been reinterpreted incorrectly. It was supposed to state that at the national level, you couldn't have the government institute a single religion. Of course, all the states had their own religions. Okay?
Oh, some did.
No, all of them did.
No,
I think there was only
all of them. There was about two.
Didn't? Two?
Georgia, I know, did.
Yeah.
Georgia for sure had Protestant.
Yeah,
which you disagree with, right?
They all had to one degree.
Not
or
in
another.
their original constitutions from like 1776 to 1778.
So you're saying that there was one or two that didn't, but the rest of them did.
No, I said there was one or two that did. The rest of them didn't.
You're wrong. That's incorrect.
That's not incorrect. I know for a fact Georgia did.
Most of them did. Most of them. Yes, they did. They had state religions. Yes, they did.
No, they didn't have a state religion.
Did. I'll tell you what. Why don't we stop the debate? I'll bet you $100 that I'm right.
$100 that you're right? Well, what are you going to define as state religion by saying that?
What?
Does it have to say?
Yes, that the state endorses X religion. Yes,
that this is the state religion.
Do you think, for instance, that
that's only Georgia?
Yeah. Do you think that, for instance, if there was a restriction for voting, that you had to be a member of this religion in order to vote, that would be a state endorsed religion?
None of them had those types. None of the state constitutions had that.
Really? So there were states where there was no requirement. So you're saying
there were requirements to hold office,
and were some of those requirements to hold office or to vote? That you had to be a Christian?
Voting was kind of all over the place.
That you had to be a Christian?
You had to be a Christian?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking back through all the state constitutions that I read. I know Georgia was the most strict because they explicitly did say that the Protestant religion is the state religion. But they were the only one that did that. I think two others said, maybe three others said that you had to be Protestant to hold office.
Specifically, specific denominations, by the way.
Yeah, Protestant.
Not just Protestant, specific denominations. Like there was some states that didn't even want you there if you were a Catholic, right?
Yeah, like John Jay actually advocated for that in New York.
The thing is,
but that didn't work itself into the New York State Constitution.
I agree, but I'm just pointing this out, right? That yes, they were very strict when it came to religious adherence, including in the original states. After we got through the Articles of Confederation. So the thing is like, no, man.
How many states rewrote their constitution?
I disagree. Huh?
I'm not aware of many states that rewrote their state constitutions after the Constitution itself was ratified. Most of them were written in because most of the state constitutions were initially written in 1776, 1778, which is when the articles were written.
So what? What's the point here? You're saying that Congress already has Christians that are in it? And that's the majority of Congress?
And according to you,
do you think that Democrats
their policies are downstream from their theology?
Yeah.
But you don't agree with necessarily all of the.
Was Barack Obama a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
What made him one?
He went to church. He identified as a Christian.
Okay, so it's just a matter of self-ID.
I mean, I don't know how else you could do it. We don't have brain machines to test.
We don't need it.
We don't know. I don't know if you're a real Christian.
How does the Bible say that we're supposed to identify Christians?
The Bible? By their fruits?
By their fruits. By their fruits. Was Obama's fruits Christian fruits?
Yeah, I think so. I think he tried to help people out.
Give me the best Christian policy that Obama had.
That Obama had?
Uh-huh.
Christian policy.
Yeah.
See, I don't think necessarily that he governed like as a Christian.
Right.
But
so what the Christian nationalism is advocating is that it's okay for you to govern as a Christian. It's fine.
You mentioned something about the fruits. Would you say something like low divorce rates, self-reported happiness, higher birth rates? Are those all fruits that you would say are Christian?
Possibly. Depends on the society in which the social order is
in the
creating.
United States. Like if we were to look at a state and say this state has above average birth rates, lowest divorce rate in the nation, it's consistently among the happiest, would you say that would be a Christian?
No, it doesn't necessarily correlate directly with the fruits of the Spirit. So,
but didn't you just say that those would be fruits?
I did. No, I literally didn't say that. I said it could be.
Could be. Okay.
Could be. There's
so what other fruits would we
There's
be looking
potential
at?
for it.
What other fruits would we
Well,
be
the main
at?
fruit would be the declaration that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and the ruling through Christian ethics and the movement towards Christian ethics. So, for instance,
so at a government level, they would have to say
agree with me that
right?
like really low IQ people can have tons of children?
Oh yeah.
How would that correlate to the fruits of the Spirit?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm asking if that would be one of your fruits, because I've heard you say stuff like that.
I'm demonstrating a point to you, right?
That's one of the
just because
things you want from Christian nationalism.
But if you associate a fruit of the Spirit as just being, high birth rate, right? That's meaningless. That doesn't have anything to do with it. It could be a correlate there, right? In totality,
correlation isn't causation.
Yeah, but you could look at but the totality of it wouldn't necessarily mean that, right? So you could have some degenerate who just fathers 50 children. That doesn't have anything to do with the fruits of the Spirit.
And low divorce rates. Self-reported happiness.
Low divorce rates generally seem to correlate more with communities which are Christian.
Yeah.
So I would challenge you on the fact that the founding fathers, while they may have been religious, didn't have any specific religion in mind when they built this country. So
what does that have to do with the prompt? The prompt is that Christian nationalism is necessary to stop degeneracy. Do you have an argument against that?
Well, I would argue that what you want would foundationally change the essence of America and its principles that it was founded on, so much so that you would no longer recognize it as the America we see today.
So was porn ever illegal in America?
Maybe at certain points, but...
You mean throughout most of American history?
Possibly, but I feel like regardless of that...
I feel like regardless of that, you should answer to the prompt. And the prompt is whether or not Christian nationalism is an antidote to degeneracy, not the foundational claim of whether or not you think the foundations of America aren't supposed to allow the church and state to have a synergistic relationship.
Whether or not it was...
Could Christian nationalism stop degeneracy or not?
That's not theoretically, maybe, I don't know. But the point is America was founded. America was founded to allow degeneracy. The whole point was for people to come here and express freedom.
No, it wasn't founded to allow degeneracy. What did they used to do to homosexuals in the United States?
They did bad things to
them,
obviously.
I thought it was founded for the homosexual to be able to put the pee-pee in the poo-poo.
Well, the point is to establish an official Christian religion was against all of the founding fathers' intentions.
Nobody's asking you to establish an official Christian religion. That wasn't ever in anything I said, even in the opening, that there needed to be an official religion. First of all, we have the 10th Amendment. States themselves can establish religious orders if they want to. That was always designed to be that way, by the way. That aside, what the does that have to do with whether or not Christian nationalism is an antidote to degeneracy? If you want to argue about foundational principles, we can do that later in the debate. I have prompts for that too. But how about we start with this one? What are progressives going to do about degeneracy in the nation besides fucking nothing?
Well, first, we think we need to at least get a base understanding of degeneracy. Would you just say all homosexuals in general are degenerate?
Yes, they're all sexually immoral. That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
So if you're trying to are you just trying to get rid of gays? Are you trying to get rid of...
We would just start with gay marriage.
Okay, so you want to eliminate gay marriage entirely?
Yes, correct, yes.
Okay, so you're saying that because someone is gay, they can't have any kind of progress or any kind of use in society?
How's that progress?
Well, I mean, gay people, you had Alan Turing, he created the Turing machine, so,
What does that have to do with him getting married?
Well, if he feels that he is not wanted in society or people are, like, forced to basically hide themselves or leave society
Did
because
he
of how they
invent
may
that
be
machine
perceived.
when there was oppressive laws against homosexuals?
Yes, but do you
argument negated then.
well, do you think he could have been, a more successful individual had he felt free and open
How
to
would he have
express
been
his
more
ideas?
successful?
Because he has the ability to just truly be himself and try to
And
self-actualize.
yet it didn't stop him from doing exactly the same thing that you say he couldn't do if he was oppressed. That's really strange, man.
But he could have done it better.
Oh, he could have. Prove it.
I can't prove
course
it
you
officially,
can't.
but the thing is,
It's the silliest
the
thing
whole
ever heard.
point, we want people to be able to actualize, what they want to do. We want people to be able to self-actualize
You want
for
him to
whatever
be
they
able to
want to
self-actualize.
decide. Yeah.
Should 18-year-olds do porn on OnlyFans? They're self-actualizing, bro.
If they want to, fine.
Yeah, of
that's
course.
That's
What's
their
the antidote to degeneracy besides more degeneracy from your view? Give me one. Just give me one antidote for any degeneracy in society. One. Just one from your view.
I feel like I disagree with the idea that just
So nothing.
those things are degenerate
Yeah,
in
you
the
have
first
nothing.
place.
You have nothing. So prostitution, not degenerate, right?
I mean, it might be, but it doesn't
Is it
matter.
or isn't it?
Sure, you could say it's degeneracy.
Okay, what are you going to do about it? What has the secular mind got in order to take care of prostitution, bro?
If anything, I would just advocate for a form of harm reduction to where that people are able to participate in a way that allows them to do it in a way where they're not hurting themselves or others, or try to just reduce any kind of dangers from it. But
So
in the meantime,
the neighbor's 18-year-old daughter's fine for her to get fucked by 20 guys as long as they're wearing condoms.
I mean, if that's what she wants to do, the whole point of
Sprinkle some degeneracy on it.
Okay, so I just want to make it clear. You don't care about any foundational principles of this country, what it was founded on, Constitution, Declaration. You just want to change it.
Do you understand that the prompt here is asking a specific query about whether or not Christian nationalism is uniquely in a position to do something about degeneracy? The argument that you should have is, no, they're not, because A, B, C, or D, or no, actually secularists are uniquely positioned to do something about degeneracy that Christians are not. And instead you came up and wanted to argue about foundational principles. It has nothing to do with the prompt. So I'm asking you to focus instead on the prompt. Tell me how it is that Christian nationalists would not be in a position to do something about degeneracy, and tell me what secularists would do about it.
So in terms of degeneracy, would you prefer, do you believe that let's say someone has like a high reported social well-being, they feel like they're doing well in society, they feel like they're included and happy and stuff like that. Could you say that they report that but still would be degenerate?
Yes, you can report high side, but here's the thing that's so interesting. All of these groups that you would point to that I would consider to be degenerate report the opposite of that. Okay, they report the opposite of that. These OnlyFans girls, they're not reporting that they have really good outcomes in life or that their mental health is really good. Neither do prostitutes, neither do homosexuals. Their HIV rates are through the roof. Do you think that makes them happy? No,
I mean,
it probably doesn't make them very happy.
Well, I would say I'm trying to think. So if someone says, like, if we look at some of the happiest countries in the world, like say Denmark, Norway, things like that.
You mean the countries where they commit suicide at a higher rate than everybody else? Like in those Nordic nations that you're talking about? The happiest nation in the world, really high suicide rate. A lot of happy people killing themselves, bro.
Well, I'm not sure the specific suicide rate of like Norway, but I know
Denmark is finally starting to decrease. I guess all of the people there who were sad decided to off themselves.
Well, but the thing is, if you look at Denmark, they have, I'm not sure the specific numbers, but last time I checked, they had a relatively low suicide rate.
Yeah.
I could be double checked on that. But
maybe now. But the thing is, when you're talking about categorization too of happiness, right? These are arbitrary metrics. Do you agree or disagree? How do you come up with what makes a person happy other than they say it?
I mean, yeah, you would have to definitionally.
Yeah, so
agree.
it's not scientific to begin with. The metric for science in this is you self-report a thing, and then they can come up with data based on your self-report and measure that.
So
right?
how are you identifying degeneracy?
Metrics,
so how are you what is your metric for degeneracy and it's leading to
to start
negatives
with,
in society?
So we would start with sexual immorality, right? Do you know that just a short 100 years ago, it was somewhere around 90 to 95% of women got married as virgins? What do you think the rate is now?
I'm not sure.
And what do you think the correlation is between a woman who gets married as a virgin and what she self-reports as happiness compared to women who don't? Do you think it's higher or lower?
It depends
Nope,
on...
it doesn't depend. It's higher. It's almost universally
Well, there
higher,
could be-
especially in religious organizations where they get married as virgins.
Well, I was about to say there's a lot of other correlative factors.
That's right, there
so
is.
if you're in a religious organization, generally religion correlates with social cohesion and things like that. But the problem is,
so what's the big secular plan here, bro?
But here's the thing: if you, I forgot the name of the study. It was done a little while back, but basically, they looked at individuals who had high reported subjective well-being, and they found that when you have enough like social support and safety nets, any kind of benefits from religion in terms of like subjective well-being are essentially fade away.
Let's put this in practice. Can you answer me a question?
Sure.
If it was the case that I could demonstrate for you that women who got married as virgins not only reported that their happiness levels were higher than women who didn't, but that their marriages almost always stayed together, right? Compared to almost every other demographic in society, they didn't really get divorced very often, right?
Well,
what would be your claim there? Why would you think that would be?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that it's other causative factors, tangential, maybe like some kind of social pressure to stay in a marriage. There's very...
so like they don't know what they're experiencing?
I didn't say that. I'm just
what?
saying, like,
what?
many religious organizations shun you if you get a divorce. It's a big problem.
So you're saying that Christian organizations can apply significant social pressure in order to keep marriages together, while
I think that's wrong,
while the people report that they're happier than the people who don't have those social pressures.
Well,
that's crazy.
Okay, well, I feel like you're conflating several different things together.
Really?
So when you look at like subjective well-being, religion, when you start to remove things like social like cohesion and things like that, like when you start to
you mean the things that are the pinnacles to the religion?
Well, that's part of it, but I would say that
it's not part of it.
Other
Fellowship
those
is the
things
part
can
of it.
be supplanted by just better society, more government support.
Those things can be supplanted by like a better society. What the hell does that mean?
When you have
what does that
support,
mean?
when you have a social network, when you have an
where
environment that
are the
fosters,
secularist social networks for virgin women who want to get married? Nowhere.
Well, it doesn't have to be. It's just for people in general. Obviously, we would still need to build it.
What are the secularists offering as far as community for people? Nothing.
They're trying to build something. Obviously, there's still lots of
what are they trying to build?
They're trying there's different secular groups you can join in terms of like this kind of debate. This is kind of like a secular thing. You could just join various social clubs and things like that.
Club?
I mean, I don't know, but the point
nothing.
is...
They're not offering... Listen, they're offering fucking nothing. The reason that those social pressures work so well is because they're actually applying social pressure. And the people who are operating within those confines actually are happier. They're happier than any of you secularists with your stupid groups. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So would you say that in the early 1700s, the nation fit your definition of Christian nationalism, America specifically?
Not what we would currently advocate for. No.
Why not?
Well, because it's a different society and a different social order. Because of that, there's going to be different prescriptions which are applied.
Well, I'm not asking if that model would apply to today. What I'm asking is, did that model fit back then? What would be required for Christian nationalism, seeing as it would be the majoritarian culture of the time?
Yeah, well, I think within individual states you can make that case. You can make that case in the national level.
But was it the overall culture of the 13 colonies at that point?
Yes, that it was very much Christian, yes.
So that would be a Christian nationalism of that time, according to your definition.
It would at least be a nation of Christians, but it would have nothing to do with the current advocation of what we're talking about when we say Christian nationalism.
What's the difference?
Because you're making a comparison between two very different government and social orders.
So are you saying Christian nationalism can only exist today and it couldn't exist back then?
No, I'm saying that Christian nationalism, as we're presenting it today, is advocating for a distinct set of beliefs based on the current social and societal order. So any comparison you make to the 1700s is not going to apply to what our social prescriptions currently would be.
All right, give me an example.
Like they didn't have OnlyFans.
Okay.
That would be an example
they didn't have
of a specific social policy which Christian nationalists would advocate for that they wouldn't be advocating for at the time. They may have advocated anti-prostitution or various things like this in various states, but the prescriptions are going to be different.
So what is the Bible's prescription, seeing as Christianity is defined by the Bible? What's the Bible's prescription for people who are not saved but have sexual desire? What should they do?
They should get married.
Right. Okay. So you believe that somebody who is not a Christian can get married?
Yeah. So what we would say is this, and this is what both the Orthodox and Catholic Church, I think, would say, that is a movement towards Christ. It's at least some movement towards it, but only if the confines of the marriage were set with the same religious adherence that you would set to as Christians. So, for instance, if you say two men get married, right?
Yeah, obviously that's out of bounds.
That wouldn't be a movement.
No,
towards,
obviously not.
Yeah, that wouldn't be God using what's evil for good.
But then my question is, why did you say Lauren Chen was sinning when she told non-Christians to get married, and that was the way to go?
Because what she wasn't advocating for was within the confines of those marriages that they be adhered to in a religious way.
Yeah. So what
social pressure, in other words, comes from the state in order to keep. So if you're Catholic, for instance, you're Roman Catholic, you get a divorce, right?
Yeah.
You can't get a divorce. The only thing you can get is an annulment, right?
And there is no divorce in the Bible, actually, and there is no annulment either.
And on top of that, there's divorce in the Bible. You're
no,
wrong.
there's not. Matthew 5:32 says if you marry a divorced woman, you commit adultery. And 1 Corinthians 6:9 says, and adulterers do not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Romans 7 verses 2 and 3 says that a woman, if she marries a man while her husband is still alive,
if you talk louder, it's not going to make your point better.
If you're an adulterer, you're going to want to pay attention.
Real quick, Corinthians.
Adultery, you're going to want to pay attention, okay? So Romans 7, verses 2 and 3 says, a woman, if she marries another man while her husband's still alive, shall be called an adulteress so long as her husband liveth. But if her husband dies, then she can marry anyone but in the Lord, and she is no adulteress.
Should I take your word for it, or should I take 2,000 years of church history?
I think everybody can pull up their phone, look up Romans 7, 2 and 3, look up Matthew 5:32, look up all these passages.
Am I allowed to respond, or are you just going to filibuster?
Look up Luke 16,
Am I allowed to respond,
look up Mark 10, look up Matthew 19.
Or are you just going to filibuster?
I think I made my point. Go ahead.
Okay, great. The Bible's a liturgical document. It's not for eggheads like you to make decisions on what the Bible's actually saying or not, because you have a loose interpretation. You have to put
I have a very tight interpretation.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
You're saint who? Of which church?
Okay. Clement of Alexandria agrees with me in I think it's book 2, chapter 23 of, I forgot what the name of the book is, but it starts with an S. But I can give you the quote. I do have it on my phone. Also, Saint Augustine of Hippo agrees with me. Tertullian agrees with me.
Let me give a response.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, no, you're actually wrong. So let's go to Corinthians, in fact, right? Are you allowed to divorce if there's adultery?
You're not allowed to remarry.
Are you allowed to divorce if there's adultery?
Actually, no.
You're not allowed to divorce if there's adultery.
You're actually thinking about Matthew 19:9. You're not thinking about 1 Corinthians.
I just want to make sure.
You know why? Because Matthew 19:9 is the discussion between the Pharisees and Jesus on Deuteronomy 24.
Yeah, can you divorce for adultery or not?
Only in Deuteronomy 24 for hardness of heart. And number 2, otherwise you fall into the Schrodinger's marriage problem, which is they used to teach why can the innocent party remarry, but the guilty party can't? Because because why, if the marriage is over, why can't the guilty party remarry?
You know what? I'll do this a different way.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just grant it. I'll just grant that your interpretation here is correct.
So no divorce, no remarriage.
Yeah, let's just grant it for a second. Is Christian nationalism advocating for that?
Yours is, clearly.
Show me.
Oh, you just said it right here because
no,
you said it wasn't in the purview of Christian nationalism to do that.
I said, this is what I said. Roman Catholics say you can't get divorced. That's what I actually said, right?
That's one of the things you said.
No, that's the only thing I said.
No, that's not.
Yeah. When did I say that Christian nationalism says that you're not allowed to get divorced, even under specific circumstance of adultery? Can you tell me when I said that, sir?
Well, when you incorporated Christian into anything, you incorporate the Bible into anything.
I'm not incorporating your interpretation of shit. And not only that,
2 Peter 1:21 says it's not open to interpretation,
sir. I have
sir.
2,000 years of church history behind me. And
then why don't you agree with the church fathers on divorce and remarriage?
I do.
No, you don't.
We have modern church fathers.
You don't agree with
What
St.
are you
Augustine?
talking about?
Read him on adulterous marriages then.
What?
Read him. You didn't read him.
Let me just ask you again, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even if I grant all of this, currently, what Christian nationalists are advocating that if there was adultery, you couldn't get divorced? Name one.
That's not my point at all.
Then what does it have to do with the prompt?
It has to do with you say Christian.
It has to do with my interpretation of the Bible. So therefore nothing.
My interpretation.
Your interpretation.
Are you kidding? Are you?
Yes.
So the Catholic.
No, I'm not
Catholic
kidding.
Church. Sorry, the Catholic Church does not say you can remarry after divorce. I'm sorry.
Does the Catholic Church grant annulments?
Annulments aren't in the Bible, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, but do they grant annulments?
Yeah, but that's a fiction.
Okay, but do they grant it though?
Annulments are a scam.
So is there any
not
Christian
in the Bible.
nationalist saying
Show
that
me
if there's
annulment in the
adultery,
Bible.
you can't get divorced?
Show me an annulment in the Bible.
Why would it? Listen, even if everything I believed about the Bible was totally incorrect and everything you believed was totally correct. Right now, the debate is about whether or not Christian nationalism, the advocation for Christian nationalism, can do something about, degeneracy in society, especially within the social order. And thus, you can name for me a single Christian nationalist who's advocating that even under terms of adultery can't get divorced. Your argument's totally irrelevant.
The problem
and it's
is
an argument
using
about
Christian
church
the
history.
same way the left used the word woman. You can just mean whatever you want anytime you want. Christian this, Christian that.
Let's look at secularists.
Christianism.
I'm a secular humanist. I'm a secular not humanist. I'm a secular vegan. You can make up whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, except I'm not secular, so you're not dealing with that right now. So
what are you?
You have to go to the next.
What
I'm
are
a Christian.
You?
I'm a Christian.
What form of Christian under Christian nationalism are you advocating for no divorce?
Christian nationalism actually isn't in the Bible. You know, it's in 1928.
Are you going to answer my
the
question?
Great Commission.
Answer my question.
I don't think Christian nationalism is a meaningful
term.
Then
why am I contending with you about Christian nationalism?
Because
you're obviously not even advocating for it, bro. What are you talking about?
Well, how do I advocate for something called Christian that's not in the Bible?
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to take your personal interpretation of these things over my church's interpretation or the 2,000 years of history behind it from whatever crazy denomination you're from. And on top of that, you're not even advocating for any of this, so it's irrelevant. And on top of that, even if I granted the entirety of your argument, you need to show me a single person who's in the mainstream anywhere advocating for Christian nationalism that says you couldn't get divorced under the grounds of adultery.
Actually,
Just
I don't
one.
need to show you that at all.
Yeah, no, exactly, because you have no argument. Now tell me.
I can show you the Bible.
Now let's try this.
Once you incorporate the word Christian, you immediately bring the Bible to the table, and it's over.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
Is there any prescription against that you can think of from a secular angle that would actually address degeneracy in society
Secularism
or not?
has no angles.
Yeah, so nothing.
Yeah, I'm not secularist.
Nothing. So what? So is Christian nationalism uniquely positioned to do something about degeneracy in society?
Christian nationalism doesn't have anything to draw from because it's not a biblical concept.
Oh my God. Can they do something about degeneracy in society, even if it's fake?
Well, tell me a policy that you can pull from the Bible that you can call Christian national.
Okay, let's say that they made a justification that was in the Bible that was fake. Let's just say it was fake. They were wrong.
Why would they
let's just say
prompt?
From their own view, they were just totally incorrect about whatever the policy was that they were drawing from the Bible. But if they did draw it from the Bible, even though it wasn't correct, and then they applied it to OnlyFans and outlawed it, would they be doing something about degeneracy or not?
Doing something about degeneracy?
Answer the question.
Okay.
Would they or not?
It's such a convoluted, weird
yes
question.
Yes or no?
If you made up a rule and then you put it into law, can you call it Christian nationalism?
Yeah, would it do something about degeneracy?
That doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how to make sense.
Answer the fucking question.
It's an incoherent question.
What's incoherent about it?
If I make up something,
you
call it
just
Christian
steelmanned
nationalism.
it. How can you steelman it and then still not answer it?
I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand what I'm saying?
I do not understand what you're saying.
So let's say that I pull up a biblical passage, totally misinterpret it compared to whatever your view is, then apply it as a matter of a law against some degenerate act that was going on, which curtailed the degenerate act. Would that do something about the degenerate act or not? Yes or no?
Sure, but you can't call it Christian if it's made up.
Yes, you can't call it Christian. You can't call it Christian because you have your own unique interpretation where you can't get married under adultery.
And read Augustine of Hippo on divorce or marriage. And you'll find that you don't have the church fathers, you don't have the Bible, you don't have reason, you don't have logic, you don't have anything.
Well, I just logically destroyed you, so.
Hardly.
It wasn't even hard.
Yeah, read Clement of Alexandria.
Yeah, I know.
Read Augustine.
But
There's a book called Divorce or Remarriage.
Can you do anything about
Iverson,
degeneracy absent right now in the political arena? Can secularists do anything about degeneracy or not?
Oh, secularists can do nothing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think one of the values of your Christian beliefs is the importance of marriage and the family unit, right? And keeping families together and supportive of each other. And I think that's in direct contradiction to gay marriage and being accepting of your gay children.
Good.
And yeah, I understand that. Is led to the destruction of a lot of families when parents do not accept their children and their lifestyle choices. And I think this turns people away from Christianity. And I don't think Christian nationalism will work.
Yeah, I think the opposite.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I think that what's happened instead is the opposite of that. That what happens is because the culture is so accommodating towards homosexuality, has become a trend lifestyle for people claiming that they're homosexuals who aren't even homosexuals. It's a form of currency and credit for victimhood.
Do you agree?
Hang on, I'll make my point and then I'll let you respond. I think that the opposite is what's going on, that the idea that this is something which at the government level from the top down is celebrated and you're told you're a bad person if you even tell your child, hey, you probably shouldn't be moving towards these alternative homosexual lifestyles, you're vilified for it. I think that does way worse harm to the family than the fact that some fundamental Christians like myself would say if you're a homosexual, until something is done about that act and you come back to Christ, we have to create distance here. I don't see.
Don't you think that's destructive of the family unit?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think a parent saying to their child, "You are not allowed around me. You're not allowed in my house.
What if your child's stealing?
I don't want to talk
what if
to
your
you
child's stealing
until
from
you
you
abandon this lifestyle."
What if your child's stealing from you? Are you allowed to make distance then?
I mean,
Can they live in your house and just steal from you indefinitely?
I don't think stealing is on the same level of like moral harm as loving another person that happens to be the same gender.
But don't you understand that when you want to correct behavior, especially inside,
I don't.
And let's point this.
I don't exile them if I want to correct behavior. Exile is a terrible solution to behavior.
It's usually the shittiest kids who make the argument that you must unconditionally love me no matter what horrible fucking thing that I do. It's usually a shitty kid who says that to their parents who do love them and want to correct them, and the kid goes, "No, I don't want to be corrected. I want to go put the pee-pee in the poo-poo, Dad."
Yeah. I think a lot of people have been turned off of Christianity in general because they have seen friends or they themselves have watched the destruction of families because they have been so intolerant of their lifestyle.
Yeah, I think
So wait, do you think it's more important to keep the family unified, or is it more important to reject homosexuality?
Yeah, so first of all, this is a false binary. I don't believe
there's tension here, right?
Okay, I'll grant this, right? That there's tension inside of family units all the time from people who are behaving outside the scope of what normally we keep. But you know what really drives a lot of tension and makes people flock to the church, especially the traditional churches? When a bunch of homosexuals are cruising down the street in assless chaps and big gay pride parades simulating sucking each other's dicks. I would say that socially, you guys have gone out of your fucking way to make it easy for us. You've gone out of your... Hang on. Gays have gone out of their way, right? The transing the kids, everything you could possibly do to make it easy for guys like me to come in and be like, no more of that shit. We're done with that shit. And for the rest of the country to be like, yep, you're right. We are done with that shit. Enough of that shit. Where the president of the United States actually has to give a presidential order saying there's only two genders, you guys overplayed your hand. And no, it ain't breaking up families. What's breaking up families is all the whining and crying that you can't be an assless chap simulating sex acts in the middle of the street. That's your social perversion. There's nothing wrong with us doing something about that.
I think a lot of people have moved away from the church because they have seen people that they love and that they care about have great, meaningful relationships with their parents. And they no longer have that relationship because their parents are so intolerant.
Yeah, how many is a lot?
They love. I mean, people have been inundated with story after story after story of the destruction of family units over this issue.
Yeah,
you care about families. This is destroying families.
What this is,
these are two values that are intrinsically...
this gay cope. It's called gay cope. So here's how gay cope works, right? You get a couple of anecdotal evidences of somebody...
This is hardly anecdotal.
Okay, then show me the proof that parents, by and large, the families are breaking up because their kids just have to butt fuck each other. Show me.
Do you reject that families have been destroyed over this issue?
I want to stop first. You said it's not just anecdotes. What's your actual evidence that in any way, in mass, families anywhere in the United States are breaking up because the kid just demands that you accept their degenerate lifestyle? Where?
I find this incredulable. I don't even understand.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't care about your incredulity. I want you to respond to the argument.
You don't accept that all across America, parents have rejected and stopped talking to their children because of their religion.
Yeah, I think that assists
and on their religious
together.
basis, they have said, because I am Christian, I am no longer going to talk to you, child, because you are gay. You don't think that's happened in a pretty significant amount. And there's only 2% of people are gay, so it's not going to happen in mass because there's only 2% of people.
So then it's not breaking up families.
It's breaking up. For those 2%, it is.
Oh man, so it's not happening in mass.
But not only is it that 2%, it's also the friends of those people and the cousins.
Okay, so I just want to be
people.
clear: it's not happening in mass, right?
It's impossible for it to happen in mass because they're a minority group.
Got it.
Well. I mean, it's going to happen. To those 2%, it's going to happen in mass.
Okay, so within the confines of these 2%, right? inside of these households, we'll just grant this even, now that we've established that, no, it's not really doing much to break up families. It's a small, little fraction, little minority
You don't
group.
accept that families, any family been broken up with, has one family.
Bro, I'll grant it.
10 families? 100? 1,000?
Here, I'll just grant it.
10,000?
I'll grant whatever number you want.
Yeah.
Let's just grant it.
A
Inside
lot.
of those families, are there more than one child? Is there more than one child?
Sometimes.
Most of the time?
But there's...
Hang on, answer the question first before you
Sure,
spurt.
most of the time.
Okay, most of the time. So if that's the case, don't you think that if you have somebody who is problematic inside of a family, like, I don't know, a diddling uncle or some crazy shit like this, that
I don't
when
think
people...
a diddling uncle is
hang
on
on,
the same
I
level as
understand you don't,
homosexuality.
but that's not the point of what I'm asking you. If it is the case that that family, I don't know, turns their back on that person or removes himself from that person until that person becomes corrected, doesn't that actually help keep the family together?
No, I actually...
No? No?
I'll tell
You
you
have
what,
to be around the diddling uncle?
Will you give me a chance?
Yeah, sure.
I think if my brother was gay, and we grew up... my parents are Irish Catholic.
So you have a vested interest in this?
And so... my brother was gay, and then my parents started shunning him because of his lifestyle. Not only would I turn my back on my parents, I'd also, no longer want to be associated with that religion.
That's a cool anecdote.
Because I would have watched...
That's a cool
this
anecdote.
is hypothetical, but... I would have watched the
It's a cool
destruction...
anecdotal, hypothetical.
I would have watched the destruction of my family on the basis of religion from people who have, talked to me my entire life about the importance of family and sticking together, and then to watch them so easily cast aside the relationship with someone who I care deeply about, I would turn me against Christianity
Yeah, sure.
and the Christian faith. And it has turned many people away from
No,
Christianity.
I don't think so. I think the opposite.
Totally.
I think that...
You don't think watching the destruction of your friends
and families... Do you want me to answer or
families
not?
has turned people away from Christianity?
Yeah, I don't think en masse, not at all. And in fact, I would say that it's the antics of gays themselves that turn people more towards Christianity. When they see, like what just happened, when they were, I was just arguing this on Pierce Morgan yesterday or the day before yesterday. This Nosferatu-looking chick is doing this play, right, where she, as a black woman, is pretentiously saying that she's Jesus, right, and is having an illicit affair with Mary inside of the play, right? Of course, she's a recipient. She's a recipient of GLAAD.
Comparison.
She's a recipient of a GLAAD award. She's gay. Everything is rainbow colored. Now, you tell me something, sir. Do you think that drives more people towards your group, your LGBTQ flying group, or do you think it drives more people towards Christianity?
I think family is the most important
Answer
thing.
the question.
I'm answering the question.
Yeah, answer the question, then give me the qualifier.
Okay. I honestly have no idea what
course
some
not.
random people
course not.
doing a play and whether or not that brings them closer or farther from the church. I do know that for most people, family is the most important thing in their lives, and they care deeply about family.
Agreed.
And when they watch religion be used as a tool to destroy families, it turns them away
Yeah,
from
and when
that
they watch
religion.
sexuality being used as a tool to bludgeon you over the head, that you're supposed to get some kind of special rights because you butt fuck men, you're supposed to be in a special category because you happen to butt fuck men. I think that sort of social degeneracy, especially widespread, people by and large reject it, they hate it, they loathe it, and it moves them more towards the church. Why do you think Christian nationalism has legs at all? Why do you think it is that so many Christian nationalists voted for Trump to say only two genders? Why do you think that is? He won the popular vote. Why do you think it is?
Trump is the least Christian person I've ever seen elected to president by far.
And you know what's really funny?
Do you think he supports religion? Do you think he supports marriage? Hang on, you're all about marriage and the importance of marriage.
Yeah.
Do you think Donald Trump is somehow supportive of marriage as an institution? The man who's cheated on every single one of his wives,
This is a red herring, has nothing to do with anything.
You don't think this has, what do you call his lifestyle degenerate?
Yeah, so what my point...
What do you call Donald Trump's lifestyle
was,
degenerate?
I think he's done degenerate things, yes. But the point of this is not to say whether or not Donald Trump's lifestyle was ever degenerate or this, that. And by the way, it was mostly degenerate when he was a leftist. But let's just point this out real quick. Okay. All right.
But thank you guys.